Hey everyone, welcome back and happy submission day for the Start Strong Writing Challenge participants. We are so excited to see the stories you have come up with over January 2026. We are going to walk through the submission instructions step by step today and give you one final reminder of the submission guidelines. If you would like to see the slides with all of those guidelines laid out, please check out this past Tuesday's live stream, which is on our YouTube channel. So right now I am in the AutoCrit home screen. You can go ahead and pull up your AutoCrit account if you would like to follow along with the live today. The submission portal is now officially open as of 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time on January 23rd, and you have until 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time on January 25th, so 2.5 days, to upload your completed story for the challenge. Don't worry, we have a countdown timer on the submission button so that you can see exactly how much time you have without worrying about the time zones. So let's head on over there. Within the AutoCrit account that you received access to for free if you were not already an AutoCrit member when you signed up for the challenge, there is a Writer's Desk tab on the left-hand toolbar. We're going to click here. If you wrote your story directly in AutoCrit, go ahead and click on your file to open it up. If you did not write your story in AutoCrit, please click the Upload button on the right-hand side, and you will see this pop-up that says to drag and drop your file here or click to select it. So we are going to click in this box to search for the file that we would like to upload for the challenge. I'm going to open one of my short stories here. And one of the first things that you need to do when you open this file is go ahead and put your title in the top left corner here where I have just highlighted in blue, because this is where the judges will pull the titles for your story. Please do not put your title or author name at the top of your file in the text itself. That is going to add words to your word count, and those words matter. We also want this to be a blind judging. That means we don't want to know who wrote which story. When you submit, we see numbers as your identifier. The short list of finalists and winners will be pulled, and we will see the names after the stories have been determined as winners, not before. So if your author name is in the file, we will unfortunately have to disqualify you. Please do not put it here. At the top left, if you do not see your file name here as the story name, you can double click and click the backspace button on your keyboard or start typing new name to put a new title on this file. But this is where your file title actually goes, up here in the top left. The second thing you need to check for if you didn't write directly in AutoCrit is that the word count of the story itself is exactly 1,000 words. That is one of the guidelines for the 2026 challenge. So you have 1,006 words here. It was under 1,000 words on my Microsoft Word, but when I brought it over and we count the actual words, not the estimated words, it is 6 words over. So 6 words have to be cut out somewhere in this piece in order to qualify. If your word count is under, you need to add in words to get it exactly to 1,000 for the guidelines for this specific challenge. So once you have your title in the top left corner, you've made sure that your author name is not in the file itself, and your word count for your story is 1,000 words exactly. At this point, I recommend scrolling to the end of the file to put the required blurb. I would put some kind of indicator that the blurb is below. Only the word count of the actual story up above has to be 1,000. So if that is exactly 1,000, the blurb underneath it will not mess up your entry. Don't worry about that. So I have blurb below. I'm going to put a sample blurb here of up to 100 words. Unlike the challenge for the story being exactly 1,000, the blurb can be less than 100. But 100 words is the average back cover copy blurb length, and that is going to be the required blurb length for this challenge. The blurbs are what we are sharing for our judging on the end of the challenge. So please make sure that your blurbs clearly state. So blurb should clearly state your use of the theme, which should be chaos and confusion, how you've incorporated the items, required items, verb, setting, and optional twists if you use them. And the blurb is also where you should put that summary of your story in a nutshell. And if you've never seen a one-sentence pitch, that could be a good place to start. But a one-sentence pitch essentially looks like when something happens, situation happens, your main character must goal in order to gain or avoid stakes. We want to know what your story is about in a nutshell. Because this challenge is really important to many in our community as beginning places for contests or submissions, we will not be sharing the 1,000 word story that you have up here. We will only be sharing the 100 word or less blurb down below. So it's important that you make sure your use of the challenge requirements is displayed in that blurb. If you have questions about how to bring your story in, how to put your blurb in, what we're looking for in a blurb, go ahead and click the help bubble in the bottom right corner of the AutoCrit site. This will pull up this little help box, and there's a send us a message button. Our support team is 100% human, and we're happy to help answer questions you have. But we do request that you don't wait until 11:35 p.m. on the final day to submit to send your questions. Give yourself some grace and breathing time. You never know when power could go out, that you could have to rework part of your story to hit the word count requirements, that something needs to change about your blurb, or that you need to get used to being an AutoCrit for the first time, maybe. So give yourself the extra time and cushion to have this in with help from our team if you need us. The support team is available at the end of this challenge because we want to help you. If we do not hear from you through AutoCrit, your story won't count. You cannot email us your story. You cannot PM us your story. You have to upload it yourself into your AutoCrit account and submit through here. So once you have your title in the top left corner, your 1,000 word story at the top, and your sample blurb down below, we are ready to submit. Go ahead and do one final pass for spelling errors and typos because this story does have to be thoroughly edited to qualify. Then go over here and we are going to click the Save button. We're going to click Submissions. And you'll see a few things if you're not in Dark Academia or our Fantasy Foundations class. You don't need to submit as homework to those classes. You are going to check the box that says Start Strong Challenge 2026 here. You can see the countdown timer is displaying right now. This is how long you have left to submit the file. When this timer hits 0, the submission window is officially closed. So make sure to note for yourself how long you have based on where you are in the world to get your story in before that timer hits 0. You can only submit a single time per person. You cannot submit updated versions of your story, and you cannot submit more than one story. So make sure that your file is exactly the way you want it to look before you hit the submit button. For stylistic preferences, I suggest putting your work in AutoCrit and then on your computer, hitting the Control A button or Command A, Command Shift A if you're on a Mac to highlight everything in the file. And then you can select the style preferences that we've asked for in the guideline slides, which are 12-point font in a standard font family like Arial, Calibri, or Times New Roman. Then you can check your spacing. We want single spaced, please. Thank you very much. And you would just click here. That will update your file all at once to be the font size, and the spacing size that was requested for the challenge. Then when you're ready to submit, I'm going to show one more time. You will click the Save button on the right-hand toolbar. Click on Submissions, and then click Start Strong Challenge 2026. When you click this button, you see in the top right corner a little confirmation pop up. Your submission to Start Strong Challenge 2026 has been received. You will not receive an email or any other confirmation from us besides this pop up. So please turn off your pop up blockers if you want to make sure you see it. If you miss it and you go, oh no, how do I check? When you refresh your file, you could go back to the Save button again, click on Submissions, and you'll see that this is now grayed out because you can only submit one time per person. So this way we have our complete and confirmed submission. As long as this checkbox is here and grayed out, your story has been submitted for consideration by the judges, and there is no other action needed on your end except to come back Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern and see how you did. Now, if you do not see this option, you don't see the submissions option when you click your Save button, on your keyboard, please click Control F5, not the F and 5 buttons, but the actual F5 button. This is going to refresh your cache on this page so that hopefully you can see all of your options. Your Save button should always have in AutoCrit an offline mode option, versions option, and then a share option, which will be grayed out as long as it's online, offline. So if you are missing any of those options, it's a sign that your cache is too full to completely load the page. And that click on your keyboard with a Control F5 will refresh it and get you right back up and running. If you have any questions at all or run into any snags along the way, please reach out to our team again at the help bubble here in the bottom right corner of AutoCrit, or email support@autocrit.com. We really look forward to reading your stories for the challenge. We know you guys are going to do great. I have linked the list. I have linked the last live that we did with all the guidelines and both twists in the description box, as well as the sign up link. If you did not officially sign up for Start Strong, go ahead and do that before you submit so that you are eligible for prizes. Thanks so much, everyone. Good luck. See you guys on the next one.